First thing I'm going to do is call this meeting to order, and then we're going to rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. All right, I'm going to take roll. Counselor Waldman. Well, we'll get back there. Counselor Murray.
Here.
Counselor Burkett.
Here.
Counselor Lucero.
Here.
Counselor Knight.
Here.
Counselor Parker.
Here.
Counselor Waldman, have you joined us yet? Well, all right, we'll see if he joins us later. We're now going to move on to approving the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Thank you. Counselor Knight.
I move we approve the agenda for
Do I have a
tonight.
Second.
Thank you. And then I was understood. Yes, Counselor Murray.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Mayor and councilors, I'd like to amend the agenda by removing item 2 under the new business and postpone this discussion to a future date.
All right, that's fine. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. So with that amendment, we have a motion and a second, I believe. So I'm going to take a roll call since there is an amendment. Counselor Murray.
Aye.
Counselor Burkett.
Aye.
Counselor Lucero.
Aye.
Counselor Knight.
Aye.
Counselor Parker.
Aye.
And Counselor Waldman.
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on to the administrator's report. Administrator Curry.
Yes, Mayor. Tonight, I have a few things to report. The first I'd like to turn to is Tanya for an update on COVID, please.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Mayor, Council, and Administrator Curry. Hope you're all doing well on this wonderful, cool, rainy evening. Give you a couple of updates on COVID in the village. We did get another case today, so we are at 38 for September. So we're 10 down from August, which is good. I do know we're going to get a couple more cases tomorrow. I've had a few phone calls from a couple positive people today. So for the last 5 days, we've had 5 cases, 10 days, 10 cases, and 14 days, 14 cases. And I did check my math and just make sure I wasn't goofing up on that. So like I said, the last time I presented, we plateaued, but we're not going down. I don't know if this is going to be our new steady state or if we're going to start going down or if we're going to start going up. Some good news is though, booster shots. So booster shots are open. The priority right now for Pfizer. If you are immune compromised, you can get a Moderna 3rd shot if you need one with certain immune compromising conditions. The booster shots for Pfizer are open. If you are over 65, really easy, you can go in and register right now to get your vaccine. If you are 18 to 65 with some health issues, overweight, smoking, diabetes, all of those kind of things, they're saying within the next 2 weeks, it'll be easy for you to get a vaccine. However, I've seen people be able to get in because they want our sites full also. And then 18 to 55, 65 will be able to get vaccines in certain jobs, restaurants, first responders, healthcare, teachers. They're saying by October 11th. We did get approval today at the meeting I had that if I have extra vaccine and there's someone at the site that is in the categories that FDA and CDC has approved, we can go ahead and vaccinate them. We've been helping a lot of people get registered for these vaccines. In the last 2 days, we ran 42 shots. We just finished 12 just a minute ago. Tomorrow at the rec center, we have clinics from 1 to 3 and then from 6:30 to 7:30 for about 114 people. I have clinics on Thursday. I have clinics on Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And then we're going to start partnering again with Department of Health so we can run some larger sites because I need more staff to do that. Next Wednesday from 1 to 4. We're gonna open its first as 180 people, but we'll expand as needed. Really trying to get out of this, but we're not there yet. And if you know someone that needs a vaccine, please send them our way. I'll be happy to stand for questions.
Do you have any questions for Commander Latin? Yes, Counselor Knight.
Yeah, so how do we get on the list?
So you go into your vaccine portal, which is how you should have signed up for your first vaccines. And when you get in there, you need to make sure your first vaccines are listed in there, or it'll think you're a primary shot. So if you went through the Department of Health, they would already be listed. If you went early and went to Presbyterian or one of those places, it would not be listed. And you have to add them, or it's going to put you in as a initial shot, not a booster. And if you can't figure out how to do that, just call me on my cell phone, and I'm going to give it out to anyone that's out there. It's 505-702-4182, and I'll help you update your portal and get you registered. That's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, Council Murray?
Yes, Counselor Murray.
Yeah, thank you, Tanya. So do we need to just bring our old shot record, or you're going to issue a new one when we get the booster?
If you have your old card, it's best to bring it. So, I mean, if you want a third card or a second card to run around with, that's fine too. But if you have your old one, bring it. And that way
Okay.
you can just have it in one nice area.
Thank
But
you.
if you, some people have lost them, and that's fine. We'll give you a third one.
Counselor Waldman?
Yes, Tanya, I think you answered this before, but just to double check. If we have the Presbyterian shots initially and finished up in February, do we have to go through the state, or can we just knock on your door and say, here we are?
It has to be, to be vaccinated, you have to be in the system.
Okay.
Because I don't have my own vaccine. I'm not like, and Press is using the system now too. If I was my own doctor's office, I'd have a system that uploads. I don't, so you have to be in the system, but people who can't get in, I will help them get in.
Got it. Thank you.
Any more questions for Commander Latin? All right, thank you so much. I wish we could say we were going down, but I'm frustrated with that. Anyway, Administrator Curry?
Thanks, Mayor. Next item, I just want to give a LGIP update on funds. As of this afternoon, the total in the account in Santa Fe is $4,361,225. $4,361,225.28. And over the last 3 months, we have collected the large sum of interest of $697.64 over the last 90 days. So I wanted to give you that update so that we know what's up there. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and this is where I would normally say, let's pop the champagne corks. In fact, I might just pop a champagne cork. The Meadowlark project has been closed out. So you know, yay. So what that does, aside from give us cause to celebrate, is that the contractor has been paid, and we have closed it out. The final amount that we settled with on the contractor was $473,000. And that was less than they had, when they had started the final closeout, they were asking for a little bit over $600,000 for us to pay more. And so we settled out at $473,000. Put the cap to Randy for his negotiations. And if there's any questions on anything else, I'll be glad to try to answer.
Any questions for Administrator Curry about the items he's covered? All right, I don't see anybody, so we're going to move on to the Counselors Forum. This section is for information purposes only, not for discussion and debate, to inform the governing body of an issue or concern that would not be addressed on the agenda during the business session.
Recording in progress.
Anyone have anything they would like to add tonight? All right, let's move on to the Corey Lenos Forum. Aaron?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we only have one person up, Mr. Kurt Flora. So whenever you're ready, your 3 minutes will start. Thank you.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'm here doing what I usually do every meeting and doing it in the council meetings and the planning and zoning meetings, is calling out the corruption in the village. Okay, so last month in the P&Z meeting, I went in there, and the month before that, asked why we were the only ones who were forced to do a resubmittal on an application with only one mistake on it, charging us, actually extorting the money from us for that one mistake. And also our surveyor, extorting money from him for one mistake. You know the things, 1886, 1887, and 16-006, all states you can have 3 times. And as I was there was mistakes on other plats. I asked about other plats that had mistakes on them. Again, I was told none of the other plats were forced into a resubmittal. And I asked this in every meeting that I've been to in planning and zoning. Why were we the only ones forced to do this? The other ones aren't being forced. I asked right to you. I said, is there a mistake on this plat? Yes, there was. Okay, was there a resubmittal? No, there wasn't. Why are we the only ones forced into that? I also noticed that on the last meeting here in the Corrales council meeting, that in the meeting minutes on the agendas, how come there's no mention of who's speaking? Like we spoke last month on that. There's nothing mentioned about Kurt Flores stood up and spoke with his 3 minutes and what he spoke about. I noticed that that's missing. Also notice on tonight, you have under subject, I guess, confirmation of appointments. You have 3 of the planning and zoning commissioners requesting to speak with you. I hope very much they speak about the corruption that's happened to me in this whole process. Because I noticed in one of Mr. Kenneth Killebrew's applications here, in his application here, he states to make decisions based on ordinances as they are written. Okay, so every ordinance that you guys have violated or planning and zoning has violated, that is written and you guys are denying to follow. Okay, that's why we're so upset, because you have ordinances, you refuse to acknowledge your own ordinances. We have followed the ordinances to the books and you guys refuse to follow the ordinances. What is so hard about following the own ordinances? You have tried.
Mr. Flora,
Yes,
if you could
sir.
wrap up in the next 10 seconds, please.
Okay. You have denied using your own ordinance. All we've done is follow the ordinances. Last month and the month before, there was 20-foot roads approved in some plats. We are denied a 20-foot road through one of our acres, where somebody else gets theirs passed and somebody else gets theirs passed with an 18-foot road. Now, why am I being denied something that was already approved, a 5-2 vote? Why am I having to go to court? Why are we going to court? Because you
Thank
guys
you,
don't
Mr.
want to
Flora.
follow your ordinances.
Thank you, Mr. Flora.
I will see you guys in court. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village council and be enacted by one motion. There will not be separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. So the items that are on the consent agenda tonight are the approval of minutes for the September 14th, 2021 special council meeting, approval of minutes for the September 14th regular council meeting, and approval of minutes for September 16th, 2021 special council meeting. Do I have a motion regarding the consent agenda?
Mayor, I move we approve the consent agenda as written.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you,
Thank you.
Counselor Waldman. Thank you. All right, then we're going to have a voice vote for this. Counselor Waldman,
Aye.
Counselor Murray,
Aye.
Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Lucero,
Aye.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
Counselor Parker.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We're now going to move on. There are no items under old business, so we're going to move into new business. The first item is consideration, action, and approval of ordinance 2107. This is an ordinance providing for the rezoning of Lot A, lands of Vivian and Lillian Chavez from A1 to C for the purpose of extending the commercial zone to the full 350 feet allowed west of Corrales Road and to the southern portion of this lot. Do I have a motion for this item?
I move to approve ordinance 2107.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Is there any discussion on this item? Yes, Counselor Burkett.
I just have one question. I see that the extension of this will be across the street from some residential lots. Do we have any sort of requirements to notify those people that this vote was happening tonight? And just wanted to make sure we did that so they could bring up their concerns if there were any.
Madam Mayor, if I can answer that, please.
Yes, please go ahead, Aaron.
Councilor Burkett, Madam Mayor and Council, with zone map amendments, typically the public hearing portion of it is actually held at the Planning and Zoning. And so when the Planning and Zoning approved this at their, I believe, August meeting, or possibly, I can't remember exactly when it was, that is when the neighbors would have been notified of when the zone map amendment was happening. That would have been their opportunity to speak. And to my understanding, no one showed up at the hearing to speak to this item. People are absolutely allowed to speak here, but there's no notice requirements like a normal ordinance because the public hearing was held at a Planning and Zoning Commission meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no other comments, I will take a vote on this.
Mayor, this is Councilor Murray.
Yes, Counselor Murray.
I was just curious, so the shaded portion of the map that we're seeing, that is the 350-foot limit and the lot extends beyond that, is that correct?
Lori, I see you on there. Would you like to?
Sure,
like to-
sure. Counselor, Mayor, yes, you can see on the shaded portion, that is the extension. And the reason this came about is this was originally two separate lots, and around
Right.
2016 it got combined, and they just wanted to extend it to the south and also go ahead and take the full 350 feet that they're allowed.
No, I remember that. I remember it coming before planning and zoning. So is the applicant the new owner then? Because I was looking on the Sandoval County tax map, parcel mapper, and it listed somebody else as the owner. So is the applicant the new owner and is?
Yes, Counselor, it takes them a long time to update their records at Sandoval, so they're new owners.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. If there are no more comments, then, oh, Counselor Waldman.
Yes, Laurie, perhaps you can answer this. Do we know when the site development plan might be filed? And do we know whether or not it will change the overall footprint of the existing building?
What I heard from the applicants, because I did ask them what their intentions were, they said that in the future, they didn't say when, it should be forthcoming, but they didn't exactly give me a date. They said their plan is to extend the parking and possibly add on to the building, sort of an outdoor porch patio type area. Which of course that has to go before planning and zoning as well. And to answer the earlier question, there were certified letters sent out before the planning and zoning meeting to everyone within 300 feet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. All right, I think we have a motion and a second, so I'm going to take a vote. Counselor Waldman,
Aye.
Counselor Murray,
All right,
Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Lucero,
Aye.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
Counselor Parker.
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, so the next 6 items are all grant agreements of monies that we received through our ICIP process. what's going to happen. I think, Ron, if you want to say anything different about this, basically we'll talk about them tonight and hopefully pass them. Then the contracts will be signed tomorrow. Then the information will go up to the state and we will be able to obligate the monies.
That's correct, Mayor, and Aaron can jump in here too, but the thing that is positive about this is that we do have a new person at DFA that we've worked with, and that's seemingly initially made a big difference in the kind of the direct answers we've gotten. Spoken several times to some of my former associates at the Legislative Finance Committee. They have confirmed some of the changes that are going on at DFA are in fact very good ones in their opinion. But the key thing, and I think I was mentioning this to some counselors yesterday, is that we have money. Obviously, we know that we've got money, but we had to do this process to obligate the funds, which protects us if we started building, let's say, the sagebrush project trail up there that Councilor Waldman has worked on so diligently. If we just started that with our own money and without obligating these funds that came in through the ICIP process, then we would have been in a situation where we would have not gotten these monies to replace the monies that we have spent. So it's kind of a tedious process, but it's one that in the long run will be beneficial to the village financially. And
Thank you. Thank you. All right, the first item is number 3, consideration, action, and approval to execute grant agreement 21-F2876 in the amount of $100,000 to plan, design, construct, and renovate paving and parking lots at municipal facilities. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the item 3.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Knight. Anyone have discussion, questions? All right, I'm going to take a vote then. Counselor Waldman,
Aye.
Counselor Murray,
Aye.
Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Lucero,
Aye.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
Counselor Parker.
Aye.
All right, the next item is number 4. That's consideration, action, and approval to execute grant agreement 21-F2877. That's $200,000 to plan, design, construct, and equip a fire substation in Corrales. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Is there any discussion on this?
Mayor, one question, just real quick.
Certainly.
So, and we were talking to Administrator Curry yesterday about this and the arts, I guess, that comes out of that. Do we have a process how that is? Who gets to provide that arts for the village? Is there a mechanism by which we put that out to bid, or how's that work?
I'm sorry, do you mean for the design and all of the facility itself?
No, there's a arts in public places amount of $2,000. I presume that has to do with kind of like the 1%, providing art for the aesthetic, anytime a building's remodeled or something. But I was just curious, is there a process by which we put the bid out to the local artists to put something out?
Administrator Curry?
if there's, depending on the size of the bid determines whether we need to really go out for an RFP. And so if it's a smaller item, like basically under $65,000 or so, that we can handle it differently, where we can we can put out an RFP anytime we want to. But generally speaking, we look in those guidelines. Tanya wants to say something, I know.
Yes, she does. Please, Commander Latin, go ahead.
Hi, I wish we could do an RFP for local artists, but under arts and public places, unless you've got, and I don't remember the total amount, but I know like when Albuquerque gets $1 million for something, they get to do a bid and use their own artist. when it is under this amount, and so ours will be 2,000. They have already called for a bid and had artists bring stuff in, and it's actually ran through the state. Lori just went through that process where she shopped with her money, and we get what they've got out there.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering how that worked.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the situation that we have where the state has people already on contract, and it makes it easier that way, and it actually saves money bureaucratically.
Kind of
All
like
right.
Amazon, huh?
Yeah. Yes, Counselor Knight.
Thank you, Mayor. So is this new construction or is this to add on to the fire substation that's already on the north side of Corrales?
Chief?
Mayor, would you like me to answer?
Yes, please.
Mayor, this is a new proposed substation at Loma Larga, 2200 Loma Larga at the Green Water Tank. This has been something in the works. We have a couple of drawings trying to put a small little substation. Of course, it's not going to be staffed. It's going to house equipment, fully functional equipment. It gives the location for members to go pick up equipment. It also, we're hoping to provide a backup for our pumping station. So in the event something was to fail in our pump house, we can use an available fire truck there to go ahead and take water out of the tank and still supply our hydrant system that we have along the roadway.
Thank you very much, Chief. Thank you very much. All right, so I believe we have a motion and a second. Yes, Administrator Curry.
You know, I'm not trying to put the chief on the spot, but if I were a betting man, he'd rather had that money going to the fire lines.
Yeah. Mayor, would you like?
Yeah.
Well, I don't expect a comment, Chief, but
You know, in their wisdom, they gave us what they gave us, right? And
Yeah,
that's where
right.
we are. So, all right, we have a motion and a second. So I'm going to take a voice vote on this item. Counselor Lucero,
Aye.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
Counselor Parker,
Aye.
Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Murray,
Aye.
Counselor Waldman.
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on to item number 5, which is consideration, action, and approval to execute grant agreement 21 F2 878. That's for $75,000 to design, construct, and equip a bicycle, equestrian, and pedestrian trail to connect the Thompson Fence Line Trail to Corrales in Sandoval County. So do I have a motion on this item?
I move that we accept the $75,000 for the bike trail.
Thank you. All right, I have a second there. Any questions about this? All right, thank you very much. I think we're kind of excited to get started on this guy. So I'm going to take a voice vote on this one. Counselor Waldman,
Aye.
Counselor Murray,
Aye.
Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Lucero,
Aye.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
Counselor Parker.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. All right, moving on down the list, we're going to go for item number 6, which is consideration, action, and approval to execute grant agreement 21-F2879 in the amount of $141,000. This is to plan, design, construct, renovate, furnish, and equip public buildings in Corrales in Sandoval County. Do I have a motion on this one?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Oh, got some competition there. Counselor Burkett. All right. Does anybody wish to ask a question about this item? Yes, Counselor Waldman.
Yes, Mayor. Ron, are there specifics of where this money might be applied at this point?
No. We're looking at if you go back to the consideration on the renovate paving and parking lot areas, looking at that, and then we're also looking at looking at the administrative part of the building in the village hall there, where we're going to be spending some money there on some things.
Bathrooms. Yeah.
Bathrooms are the high priority there. But if they're going to come in for bathrooms, we're going to ask whoever we pick, which is likely to be facility build, because they're on the CES contract. We don't want them to come in there and just do the bathrooms. We want to make sure that we get the whole facility the way that we want it. Since now that we've got some additional space, so that we can have a village hall that is more accommodating for meetings and so forth, rather than just having everybody in a lunch break room, kind of. So that,
Any other questions? All right, I'm going to take a vote on this. Counselor Waldman,
Aye.
Counselor Murray,
Aye.
Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Lucero,
Aye.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
Counselor Parker.
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on to, this is item number 7. This is consideration, action, and approval to execute grant agreement 21-F2880. This is $40,000 to purchase and equip a vehicle and equipment for the Corrales Planning and Zoning Department in Corrales in Sandoval County. Do I have a motion for this?
I move we approve number 7.
Thank you. Do I have a
I'll second.
Thank you. Are there any questions? I think Lori's very excited about the idea of getting a working vehicle. So, all right, I'm going to take a vote. Counselor Lucero,
Aye.
Can't afford ours.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
Counselor Parker,
Aye.
Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Murray,
Aye.
Counselor Waldman.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to number 8. This is consideration, action, and approval to execute grant agreement 21-F2881 in the amount of $243,000. This is going to be to plan, design, and construct the West Meadowlark Lane Trail in Corrales in Sandoval County. Do I have a motion for this item?
So
I'll
moved.
move.
Thank you. I've got, I think, Counselor Waldman and then Counselor Murray. Thank you
I'll
very
second
much.
then.
All right, all right. So eager, really. All
Yes,
right.
yes.
Do I have any questions on this item? All right, thank you very much. I'm going to take a vote then. Counselor Waldman,
Aye.
Counselor Murray,
Aye.
Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Lucero,
Aye.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
Counselor Parker.
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, now the next item is consideration, number 9 is consideration, action, and approval of resolution 2134. This is a resolution authorizing the disbursement of $3,180 to the Corrales Society of Artists for multimedia advertising. Do I have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Thank you, Zach. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you very much. Anybody have a question on this item? All right, I'm going to take a voice vote then. Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Murray,
Aye.
Counselor Waldman,
Aye.
Counselor Parker,
Aye.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
Counselor Lucero.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The last item on the list is a consideration, action, and approval of resolution 2135. This is a resolution extending the declaration of emergency in the village of Corrales due to COVID-19. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second? I think I saw somebody's hand up there.
Second.
Thank you very much, Counselor Waldman. All right. Any discussion? I think we're all hoping this will not be necessary at some point in the near future, but Counselor Lucero,
Aye.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
Counselor Parker,
Aye.
Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Waldman.
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to move on to confirmation of appointments. We have before us one candidate for the Corrales Equestrian Advisory Commission. We have one for the Corrales Interior Drain Committee. And we have 3 people who would like to continue to serve on planning and zoning: Jerry Sturmer, Melissa Morris, and Ken Killebrew. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve all the appointments for under letter K.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think you have.
Mayor,
Yes.
Councilor Murray.
Certainly.
Just one comment. I had to take a laugh under Mr. Killebrew's application that his experience was based on 2 marriages. My daughter was, when I told her about this, she wanted to know, is it age related or is he,
Well,
just curious.
Well, I guess we learn things different ways in our lives. So, he's been a good member of the PNC. So, Counselor Waldman,
Aye.
Counselor Murray,
Aye.
Counselor Burkett,
Aye.
Counselor Lucero,
Aye.
Counselor Knight,
Aye.
and Counselor Parker.
Aye.
All right, thank you. We're now into our agenda and future agenda items. I think you're all aware that next Tuesday night at 6:30, we will be having a work study meeting to try to tackle some potential amendments to the cannabis ordinance. So we'll be doing that. Aaron, do you have other items that you're thinking about right now?
Madam Mayor, the only other things that I have on my list is we will be revisiting the Bosque work plan. And then we also will be doing a capital assets resolution. Those are the only 2 things I have on my list.
All right.
I'd like to be put on the next agenda.
Okay, that this is actually out of order, sir. You can always speak at the Coriolanus Forum. All right, so we have the those items. I'm sure we'll think of some others. Yes, Counselor Murray.
So I presume then that we will have the findings of fact at the October 12th meeting from Randy for our one of the special meetings.
Yes, I think that's right. Randy's having some technical difficulties, so I know he's on the phone here somewhere. Randy, isn't that the date that you said
I'm
you would
here.
have these ready? Okay,
Yes, on the DeHoff appeal, the findings and conclusions will be on the next agenda.
all right. Thank you very much. So we've got those.
The regular meeting, not the special
Yes.
cannabis meeting,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, I understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, anything else? Because yes, Counselor Burkett.
I just have one question about the work study. Can we get something out as part of the agenda for that meeting? What role the public will have, if any, if they can comment at that meeting, or if we would prefer written comments, just so there's no confusion at the work study as far as what roles will exist for the public, other than obviously they're certainly participating in a viewing manner, but if they'll be able to communicate as well.
Generally, and I'll have Randy fly in on this one, but generally at a work study meeting, that is really, the governing body is working and the public is always entitled to appear. They're really not necessarily entitled to speak. And the amendments themselves are very complicated. I'm just going to say that. Randy, what would you advise?
Well, I think, Mayor, councilors, I think it might be appropriate to solicit input from the public once they have listened to our work study, because we've already had lots of public comment on this at multiple meetings, and until they see kind of a consensus of what the council is asking to be put into a bill for introduction, if we get that far, that seems to me that that's where the public comment would be helpful. Before that, it's going to be a little bit premature because I think the positions of folks are pretty well established. That would be my recommendation.
All right, thank you very
Mayor-
much. I think that
Mayor,
makes
Councilor
sense.
Murray.
Councilor Murray.
Thank you, Mayor and Randy. Will we get a draft of what you're thinking about proposing? And so we can have time to review that.
Yes, indeed, you will. The biggest challenge we have has been that in order to, let's say, maximize the protections for citizens from any adverse effects of these uses, it has gotten complicated. So, but yet the answer is yes, you will see them by the end of the week. That would be my proposal. The administration will continue to work on them. We're trying to think of a way that we can present them in a manner that it would be. You end up getting bogged down. We're talking about things like setbacks in different zones for different uses, and so we're going to try to put it together in a fashion, short of doing a PowerPoint, because that is never very helpful. We're going to try to put it in a package where it is understandable and we see what different options there are. So, yes.
I would really appreciate that, Randy, because I have seen them and they are amazingly complicated. And so I think the counselors, the governing body really needs to know what the effect of these different amendments might be.
And the planning and zoning commissioners will be invited? I'm sorry, Mayor, the planning and zoning commissioners will be invited as well?
I don't think that was on the.
Mayor, I mean, that's.
Yeah. Yes, Randy.
Mayor, that's at the governing body's discretion. They could certainly attend, but it wasn't previously planned as a joint study session.
Yeah.
Just my opinion is that, we're doing things that is kind of impacting their process somewhat. And I think as far as, cannabis goes, I think you ought to allow them at least to weigh in on this.
Well, they don't let people weigh in on anything else. That's the thing, that you're not allowing the public to speak at any of these public meetings.
Would you mute him, please? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think that the problem for us is that we do want the input from everybody. But then if the group gets too large, we're going to have a lot of trouble figuring out what we're going to be doing. But I'll certainly take all of that under advisement, and then we'll see what we can do for next Tuesday night. I'm hoping it will be in person. That's the other thing. I'm hoping that we will be able to do this in person, because I think it's going to be kind of complicated otherwise. But I'll reach out to Randy and Corey and everyone to see if we can in fact do this in person. Yes, Councilor Waldman.
Mayor Randy, I don't know if it's appropriate, but I have a kind of a general question that I'm not sure the state has addressed, and whether or not we are allowed to address it. And that is, Randy, has there anything been mentioned about environmental impact study, either by communities or by the state, for each of these, for the ordinance that was passed by the legislature?
There has not been. The legislature's focus has been entirely on treating and creating a system where cannabis is a legal agricultural use, and therefore it would be treated like other agricultural uses, which wouldn't require such studies.
Thank you.
Well,
all right.
So we didn't get any guidance. We didn't get any guidance from the state in that manner.
All right.
That's something we might be able to consider.
We could look at it. I don't know that would be within our jurisdiction. Councilor Burkett? No, Councilor Knight?
Thank you, Mayor. I was wondering for the next future agenda item, can we ever get back to the Gonzalez property? And did we ever get any kind of to see how much that would, the appraisal or anything like that? I mean, a few months ago, we were talking about it and then it kind of just went off the radar.
Administrator Curry, you have anything you'd like to say?
That decision was made in executive session,
Yes.
and I will tell you that we expect some news 60 to 90 days from August 6th.
Oops.
All right, thank you. All right, so if there are no other announcements or agenda items, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, thank you, Counselor Murray. Anybody else?
I'll
Second?
second.
Second.
All right, thank you, everybody. Well, I think we're just going to adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
All right.
Have a good one.
Good night.
I'll see you next week. Bye.